International commercial terms, commonly referred to as Incoterms, are terms that are used to establish the responsibilities between the buyer, usually the brand owner, and the seller, usually the manufacturer. These responsibilities help to reduce the confusion between buyers and sellers of who holds financial responsibility for the various logistic components of cargo. These terms also outline who is responsible for the safety of the goods and when that responsibility transfers. Ex-works, known as EXW. The seller is only responsible for the goods at their facility. Free on board, known as FOB. The seller is only responsible for getting the goods onto the boat at the port. And the delivered duty paid, known as DDP. The seller is responsible for getting the goods all the way to the final destination of the buyer's choosing. These are the most commonly used terms as they offer the simplest explanation of each party's responsibilities. Manufacturer's initial pricing is often quoted as ex-works or free on board. Once the buyer provides the final destination, sellers can usually provide delivered duty paid pricing. For example, if the seller quotes a product at $1 FOB and the buyer purchases at that price, the buyer is then responsible for paying all freight costs to the final destination, usually through a freight forwarder hired by the buyer. The buyer also pays customs and clearance duties separately and is required to have their own import bond. However, if the buyer purchases the product from the seller at $1.80 delivered duty pricing, then the seller is responsible for all costs and logistics coordination associated with getting the product to the final destination, including customs and clearance duties.